Toistale and Happy New Year. P. BootCamp, Lesson Number 1, Origin of the Tibetan Alphabet. During the great 33rd king of Tibet, Songtsen Gampo, who is believed to be a manifestation of Avalokiteshvara, Genesik in Tibetan, Bodhisattva of compassion, in the year 617 AD, which happened to be an ox year according to Tibetan lunar calendar, and he was enthroned when he was just 13 years old after his father was poisoned. Later, he unified the whole of Tibet. Thumi, believed to be a manifestation of Manjushri, Bodhisattva of wisdom, was one of the most celebrated ministers for his literary aptitude. He was son of Anu, his mother's name, of Thumi clan from central Tibet. At the request of the king, he was sent to India with 15 other carefully selected intelligent students to study Sanskrit so that all the Buddhist texts could be translated into Tibetan language. Out of 16 students, including Thumi, 15 other students, they all died, as they were not able to acclimatize in India. So due to heat, they all died, except for Thumi. Thumi studied under Pandit Deva Vidya Sinha and Brahmin Lipikara of Kashmir. The professors were so impressed with Thumi that they named him Thumi Sam Bota. Sam in Sanskrit meaning kind, well-mannered, and Bota meaning Tibetan. So basically it translates into Thumi, kind and well-mannered Tibetan. He returned to Tibet after studying 7 to 8 years in India, and he is believed to have resided in Maru Castle near Lhasa. So in that castle, he has invented and shaped the Tibetan characters. Tibetan alphabet consists of 30 consonants and 4 vowels, and it's based on Devanagari script. He has also done 8 other important works on Tibetan grammar. Only 2, Sumjupa and Tangjupa, are extant to this date that treat orthography and orthoepy. So the rest of the 6 are all destroyed. And Tibetan language is one of the few scripts created solely to facilitate translation of scriptures, which happen to be Buddhist in this case. And this is a story of Tibet, Conversations with the Dalai Lama by Thomas Lade. So you guys can read this book. It's about maybe nearly 400 pages of pages, and it's a story of Tibet, Conversations with the Dalai Lama. I was told it's about 50 plus hours of interview. So in this, on page 12 in this book, as I've highlighted here, because over here, like we were saying, the great 33rd king of Tibet, Songtsen Gampo, is believed to be a manifestation of Avalokiteshvara, Genesik in Tibetan, right? So in this book, it states here that as the Buddha lay on his deathbed in northern India in the year 483 BC, Avalokiteshvara bent down beside him and urged him not to die because he had not visited Tibet. And then down here, Buddha replied, "The kingdom of snows in the north is, at present, a kingdom of animals only," the Buddha replied. "There is not even the name of the human beings there. However, in the future, O Bodhisattva, it will be converted by you," meaning Genesik or Avalokiteshvara will be converted by you. At first, having been reincarnated as a Bodhisattva, protect the human world of your disciples, then gather them together by religion. And on another page, somewhere in the book, the Dalai Lama firmly accepts the fundamental Tibetan belief about Songtsen Gampo. The Bodhisattva Chenrezig had promised the Buddha that he would unify and protect the Tibetans and then guide them with Buddhism. And that's exactly what happened in the 7th century. The whole of Tibet was unified and Buddhism spread throughout Tibet. So this is another screenshot from, and in this it's saying Thumi Sambuddha, having had his education in the University of Mithila, Gyakarhojo, India, in the southern direction from Lhasa, and that under Brahmanical professors. It is remarkable coincidence that at this period the famous Chinese pilgrim traveler Yuan Chang should have been studying Sanskrit in the Buddhist University of Nalanda in Magadha, having traveled to India by the northern route under the auspices of Emperor Taizong, King Songtsen Gampo's father-in-law. Had Thumi Sambuddha been a student of Sanskrit at Nalanda at the time, he could hardly have escaped the notice of so keen an observer as the Chinese traveler. So grateful was the earliest Tibetan student of Sanskrit that he did not forget to reverence his teacher and professors in the beginning of his grammar. So this is a screenshot from one of the books. And this is a picture of Thumi Sambuddha. So over here it's written Samasam Bahata Bah Banarobo Talo Ta. So this is a transliteration from Sanskrit in Tibetan language. So Sa Ma Sam Bahata Bah Banarobo Talo Ta Sambo Ta. Sam meaning Sangbo, kind, well-mannered, Bota meaning Pö or Tibetan. So basically it translates into Pömi Sangbo. So this is a Google map. I was just trying to see how far Thumi Sambuddha has traveled in the 7th century when there is no roads. I mean, no cars, no, like, it's all like you have to literally walk, right? So this is Lhasa, the capital of Tibet, and according to Google Map, probably this might be a typo, maybe 2 hours and 55 minutes by air. And so Nalanda is here in Bihar, Nalanda University, and from here, from Lhasa, so they have to walk all the way from here through Nepal, or maybe they could have come through Bhutan, or maybe from Arunachal Pradesh. So it really it could be any of these routes, but the easiest route here, it looks like it's through Nepal and then into India, and then over to Bihar. And as you can see, there's Nepal is here, Bhutan is here, Bangladesh, and then Myanmar or Burma is here, India is here, and Varanasi is here, Allahabad. And this is the picture I found of Mithila University that we saw in the screenshot where Thumi Sambuddha studied, Mithila University. So I don't know whether this is the correct university, but when I did a Google search on Mithila University, this is the picture I found, and it's about like 4.5 hours from Nalanda University. So it's pretty close proximity. So I'm guessing maybe this might be it, but I do not know for sure. So you guys can find it out yourself. But the name of the university he went, it's called Mithila. Okay, so now we're gonna start letter Ah as in America. So this is letter Ah in Tibetan language. The letter Ah is an inherent sound of all Tibetan consonants. That's why the letter Ah is called the mother letter, the main letter. So in a family, the mother figure is the most important, right? So that's why in Tibetan consonants, the letter ah is called the mother letter. And to show its special role, the last letter, so it's the last letter in the Tibetan alphabet. So it's the last letter to stress its special role. The rest of the 29 letters are called father letters. So these 29 letters are called father letters if you divide it. And then the last letter, which is the letter ah, is called mother letter. The letter R is either silent or it's not a vowel, because in Tibetan we have words like ikung or ogma. So as a grammatical rule, you cannot have, like, okay, so akiku I, kashapju kunga kung ikung, right? So as a grammatical rule, you cannot have a syllable with two vowels. So if you say this is a vowel and this is a vowel, then you have two vowels either on top of each other or forming a one syllable. So that's why in Tibetan this is the letter ah is not a vowel, because we have words like ikung, which uses ah as a consonant, and then I over here as a vowel, and then over here also ogma. Ogma means chin, ikung means whole. So because of words like these, ah is not a vowel in Tibetan language, because the rule is no two vowels occur together without a medial consonant. So we have to have a consonant between vowels. So no two vowels occur together, because in this case, if it's considered a vowel, then this is a vowel and this is also a vowel. So it defies this rule. So that's why in Tibetan language, ah is not considered a vowel. So we have four vowels in Tibetan language. What are they? The first one is called kigu, and it's this symbol right here. So this is called kigu. The next one is called shapkyu, and it goes at the bottom of the letter. This one goes at the top of the letter. And then the third one is called dengbu, which goes on the top. And then the last one is called naro, which goes at the top. So there are three vowels that goes on top of consonants, and there is one here that goes at the bottom. So this is kigu, and the sound you will hear is I. And this is shapkyu, and the sound it'll make is u. And this is dengbu, and the sound is e. And this is naro, and the sound is o. So it's I, u, e, o. So these are called yangyi in Tibetan. Yang meaning vowel, yik meaning letters, and this is shi meaning four. Yangyi shi, marked with the consonants, modifies ah into the vowel sound. So when you add any of these vowels, that consonant, the sound gets modified. So as an example, ka, the first letter in the Tibetan language, in the Tibetan alphabet, modifies into ki, as in kick, when kigu is added. So this one right here resembles kigu or I. And then the letter ka now gets modified into ki, as in kick, right? To emphasize this change, vowels are placed either on the top or at the bottom. So when you see a vowel, you have to note that there's a change coming, the change in the pronunciation, the change in the sound. So that's why, to emphasize this change, vowels are either placed at the top or at the bottom. And then there are vowels and subjoined. We have subjoined letters also, yata, rata, wasu. So, and these are called children letters. So we have mother letters, the letter a, the father letters, the rest of the 29 consonants, and then these vowels and subjoined letters are called children letters because they are dependent upon the parent letter. So by itself, it can't do anything. And unlike Sanskrit or in Hindi, in Tibetan, we do not have long or short vowels as in Sanskrit or in Hindi. So these are the vowel signs as far as I was explaining before. So this is kiku, and as you can see the sound here, the pronunciation ki-ku. It's not gigu, it's ka. Ki-ku, not gigu. Ki-ku, right? Kiku. And it's the E sound. Shabkyu is the U sound. And deng-bo, or the S sound. Naro, or the O sound. So this one goes on top of the letter. The U always goes at the bottom, and then the other three goes at the top. So it's Kigu, Shabkyu, Dengbo, Naro. And this is a screenshot of another book that I was going through, using it as a reference. So before introducing how to combine and spell Jodlo in Tibetan, the consonants with vowels, prefixes, suffixes, surmounted and subjoined consonants, it is important and auspicious to have a basic knowledge of the Sanskrit alphabet on which the Tibetan alphabet was based. Sanskrit, Lekjar in Tibetan, means well created, is the highly respected language of the Devas, meaning the gods' language. Tibetans have extraordinary faith in the special power attached to this language, from which all the Buddhist scriptures in the Tibetan Buddhist canon were translated. Tibetanized Sanskrit syllables, names, mantras, and dharanis are commonly found in Tibetan literature, and one should know the Sanskrit pronunciation of them. It is very different from the Tibetan pronunciation. In Sanskrit, every letter is always pronounced in the same way, no matter what letter precedes or follows. In root, in Tibetan, a prefix, a suffix, and vowel or a symbol or a syllable, a vowel of a syllable can either remain mute or modify the sound of the root consonants, as we shall see later. Do not try to read the Tibetanized Sanskrit syllable or mantras in the way you pronounce Tibetan, as many Tibetans do, but try to pronounce every sound of the letter. When transliterating Sanskrit into Tibetan, that is mantras, tsek should not, this is one of the punctuation mark, tsek should not be used between the syllables. This is a common mistake committed by most Tibetan calligraphers. So now, since we're talking about Sanskrit, so this is a screenshot. So on the right hand side, I have the Sanskrit vowels, and then on the right hand side, I have it transliterated into Tibetan. So this is ah, I, u, u, re, le, and then over here a, I, o, ow, and then two special ones here, and ah. So when we read Tibetan Buddhist scriptures, we may find these kind of notations, so you will know, okay, what you're supposed to pronounce when you see these notations. So in this case, we have on this side ah, it's a little longer. This is ah, and this is ah. Same thing here, ah, and then this is transliterated into Tibetan, I, u, re, le, e, ow, o, j. So basically, in this case, we have 16 16 consonants in Sanskrit. So lecture hey kela yang jutuk years. So this is a screenshot from Sambuddha. Now these are the these are the consonants. So it's ga, ka, ga, ga, nga, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ta, ta, da, da, na, ta, ta, da, da, na, pa, pa, ba, bha, ma, ya, ra, la, va, sha, beit kata sha, sa, ha. And then the same thing transliterated into Tibetan. So it's ga, ka, ga, ga, nga, nga. So in Tibetan, basically, we don't have the fourth one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have this. We don't have this. We don't have any of these, but for transliteration, we generally use these. And then we don't have the fourth one here, and then we don't have the fourth one here. So basically, it's a ka, 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 nga. So in Sanskrit, there are two. One is ga, one is ga, and one is ga, right? So with the ha, you can see when you listen, you'll hear the ha sound. So this is ga, ka, ga, ga, nga, right? So this is a transliteration, and over here it says lecture kiegi sije soshi, meaning 34 letters in Sanskrit. Actually, it's 33. So this should be probably it's just a typo. So it's 33 letters in Sanskrit. So if you count 25 at the top, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. And if you want to know the basics, this is a really good resource that's on YouTube. So you can type in the alphabet in Sanskrit. It's a course by Dr. Pankaj Raja Gopal, and she teaches basics, all the alphabet and the vowels and all that stuff. So if you're interested, you can watch these videos. It's really very easy to understand. It's very helpful. I've watched these so many times. So it might be a good idea to watch these, and you'll know the whole reason how and all that stuff. And then the next is lecture hai kela yang judu yu. So there are 16 vowels in Sanskrit, and then they have like a, I, u, r, l, and then these are called diphthongs, meaning it's combined. It's combined with the consonants and a vowel. So these are all like as you can see here. So this is e and I. A and I will form e, and then a and e will form I, and then a and u will give you the o sound, and then a and o will give you the ow sound. So if you watch the previous video I was talking about, you'll see all the details in that video. So basically in Tibetan, it's just transliterated. Now on the left hand side is the 16 vowels in Sanskrit, and then the 33 consonants in Sanskrit, and then on the right hand side the 4 vowels in Tibetan, and then the 30 letters in Tibetan language. So these 16 got trimmed into 4, and then these 33 got trimmed down to 30. So if you can see, ga, ka, ga, ga, nga, right? So we don't have this in Tibetan. So it's ga, ka, ka, nga, cha, 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 nya, ta, 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 na, pa, 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 ma, za, 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 wa, sha, sa, a, ya, ra, la, sha, sa, and then ha and ah. And so these 6 letters that I've highlighted in yellow are not in Sanskrit. So these are strictly a lot of words with these letters being used in Tibetan that's not in Sanskrit. So the 24 letters out of 30 letters, 24 letters are inspired from Sanskrit, and then these 6 letters are created or invented by Thumisambodha, because these za cha za and then sha sa ha, these are strictly Tibetan, and a lot of words with these, and there are a couple of stories behind like how these were formed, which we will do in more details in later videos. For now, just know that there are 30 consonants, 4 vowels. Out of 30, 24 are inspired from Sanskrit, and then these 6 are invented by Thumisambodha. So this is another screenshot here. So it says, we have already seen Tibetanized Sanskrit alphabet and have noticed the similarities and dissimilarities between Sanskrit and Tibetan alphabet. It is very important for any student who wishes to learn Tibetan language to see the unique relationship between the two languages, and remember the additional characters in the Tibetan alphabet, which do not exist in the Sanskrit alphabet. The 6 characters that were added solely for the classical and spoken Tibetan language are cha cha cha, sha sa ah. So see, in this screenshot they say cha cha cha, but in actuality it should be za cha za and not cha cha cha. So we will cover more details why that's the case. So that's why in this screenshot, like because according to the book it's saying it's these 6, but actually it's these 3 and these 3 right here. So we will cover more details in later chapters or later videos. So now, what are the 4 vowels? So it's Kigu, Shapkyu, Dangbo, Naro. And then what are the 30 consonants? It's Ka, 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 Nga, Cha, 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 Nya, Ta, 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 Na, Pa, 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 Ma, Za, Ca, Za, Wa, Sha, Sa, Ah, Ya, Ra, La, Sha, Sa, and then Ha and Ah, right? So that's how these. So and in later in another video, because this video is becoming a little long, so in another video we'll discuss how you pronounce all these and where all these letters originates from which part of the mouth or from which part of the throat and then there are 3 varieties of vowels in Sanskrit. They call it short vowel, hraswa swara, and then dirgha swara and plutta swara. And they said that the short vowel needs 1 matra kala to pronounce. So the time it takes is 1 matra kala to pronounce the short vowel, like the a, I, u, re. And then the long vowel, the dirgha vowel, the dirgha swara, needs 2 matra kalas to pronounce. And then the plutta or the protected vowels needs 3 matra kalas to pronounce. And a matra kala is the time taken to wink once. And not all vowels have all the 3 varieties. So now, as far as the punctuation marks are concerned, in the letterhead in Tibetan, when you read a passage or maybe a paragraph or publications or whatever, you'll always see these at the beginning. So these are the different punctuation marks. So this is called the yingo, right? And so this one is called yingo, universal letterhead yingo, in the upper left hand corner, side A of every pair of pages. And it's inauspicious to have books published without proper yingo or without proper letterheads. And it's also disrespectful and demeaning when ignored. The Communist China's deliberate attempt to destroy Tibetan language and culture. the punctuation system. So each syllable is followed by a dot called tsek. That's hatengbo, tsek ka tsek, and this dot here. So each syllable will be followed by a tsek or a dot. Each clause is divided from the next by a single vertical stroke called shi, or jik shi means jik meaning one, shi meaning this stroke right here. Each sentence by a double vertical stroke called ni shi, or two shis. And then each paragraph or chapters by four strokes called shi shi, shi meaning four, shi meaning the stroke, right? And then we have other punctuation marks like du shi, rin chen pung shi, and then this sign right here you'll see. So now how do you end a sentence in Tibetan? So in Uchen, the letter which ends a sentence is not followed by a dot but a stroke. Two exceptions. When a sentence ends with the letter ka, like this letter, there is neither a dot nor a stroke. However, when a sentence ends with the letter nga, which is the fourth letter, like in the Tibetan alphabet, this is the third letter, this is the third letter, and this is the fourth letter. So if the letter ends with this letter, if the sentence ends with this letter, it does not get either a dot or a stroke, so it doesn't get any of those. However, if the sentence ends with the letter nga, it gets a dot and also a shi. And then rinje pongshe, rinpoche ne mende degbu tang. So in this sentence, see the sentence ends with the letter nga, so that's why you see the dot and the shi. And then in this sentence, you see the letter ka, right, which is the same as this one. That's why you don't see the dot or the shi. For all the other 28 letters, you will always see one of these shi, right? So in this example here, see this sentence ends with the letter nga, so you see the dot and the shi. This one ends with the nga, so you see the dot and the shi. This one ends with ta, which is neither the third letter nor the fourth letter, so that's why for all the other 28 letters you'll see one of these guys. Okay, so now we'll do a quick review. So the questions are: during which king and in what century was the Tibetan script invented? And the second question: who invented the Tibetan script and why? Who were his main professors? Name two. How many Tibetan students went to India to study Sanskrit? How many consonants and vowels are there? Just the numbers. How many rows and letters are there in each row? Now you have to write all the letters and vowels in the Tibetan alphabet. And then question number 8, why is not a vowel in Tibetan language? And then question number 9, write 3 of the commonly used Tibetan punctuation marks. So these are the 9 questions, and see if you can answer them. If not, you can watch the video again and try to see if you can come up with the answers. And as always, whenever possible, try to help others. If not, at least refrain from harming others. Thanks a lot.